Here we go. Hi, you guys. So I've been getting a lot of questions about Demi color. You guys are finally starting to see the magic of these color corrector shades. And I wanted to talk to you about kind of the steps that I recommend that you take when you get one of the Demi color corrector little edits. This one right here is probably my favorite. It is the Wide Awake edit. It gives you some really great colors for filtering, especially if you have like age spots, melasma, things like that. This little edit is really an awesome option. The other one that I really love is this one right here. And this one is the Rewind edit. You guys, you guys are so nice. You guys are awesome. Thanks for jumping on. I really appreciate your support, and I hope that me kind of breaking down Demi will make it a little bit easier for you so that you can jump in and begin to use these. I usually use these in combination with like a bronzer and a lip and cheek. And of course, I'm going to use one of the new ones that was released today called Maui. It's going to be right up there with Tiger Lily, which you guys know how much I was obsessed with that for the last 3 months. So here we go. All right. So when I'm going to use my little Demi edit right here, these are just colors that I've put together that I love to use. And I'm going to try and like tell you the colors and why I'm using them. But first off, I want to talk to you about like the importance of before you go in and start to filter some of maybe your dark circles, your little acne, purple veins, this deep shadowy purple that we get, especially as we age. Because what happens is, and when I turn my head down like this, you guys can kind of see the hollowness. And when as we age, we get this hollowness here. And that's because it like recedes, okay? Anytime you have an area that recedes, it's going to look darker. It's not necessarily that the skin is darker, because many times if you pull on it, like you're like, the skin's not dark. So why does it look so shadowy in there? And that's just because it's like kind of reset in. And by using some of these techniques, it will help so that because your eye bag here will seem like it's worse than it used to be, when really it's just because this area in the eye socket has receded. So if we go in and we kind of add color where it needs to be, and then brighten just right in that socket. I'm not too bad right now because I've been doing a lot of that eye massage that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And whenever I do that regularly, I'm not kidding, my bags look way better. So let me know. You can send me a message and I'll send you the link to that video or whatever. And I also did like a short reel about it. But yeah, it makes a huge difference in what my eye bags look like. It's not like quick fix, you're good. It takes me like 3 to 4 days of really doing it morning and night for it to make a huge difference in my under eye bags. But I mean, why not? I'm putting on my eye serum anyway. I might as well do the massages to kind of help decrease that inflammation. So I notice a huge difference in there when I'm doing it. Okay, so let's talk step 1 for Demi, okay? Step 1 for Demi is always going to be what we call toning. And toning is, hang on, I gotta find my other palette. I don't know why I don't have my bronzer in that palette. Step 1 is always going to be kind of toning the skin, okay? There's a couple of different ways that you can tone the skin. And what I mean by is when you look at the coloring on my face, you can see here how this kind of looks blue. just looks lighter, right? And then I've got a lot more color here around my nose. This is light kind of where it hangs over. So all of these different areas, if I add a little bit of warmth to them, already is going to start to make a huge difference. So I can take my bronzer and do this, or I can take a shade like this, which is called 05, and do this. And I love using 05. I feel like the Demi colors are so concentrated, and you use hardly any product, and you don't have to set it. You don't have to worry about it like settling, because you're using such a small amount in very targeted areas. So I'm just going to take a little bit, as you can see, a little bit, and I'm going to take 05 and just kind of give me a little bit of warmth in those areas where I'm kind of blue. And don't be afraid of this. You will hardly need any. And I want you to kind of trust the process with Demi and just go with it, okay? Just don't get too hyper focused on one area where you miss the entire picture of what Demi can do. You guys ask all your questions below if you have questions about Demi color. So already, just by adding a little bit of warmth with 05 is already starting to balance my skin. As my skin is becoming more and more balanced, you're going to notice less and less of the dark everywhere. Because if you just look at your skin without anything on it, many times you're going to be like, oh, look, I have all this melasma, I have these dark under eye circles, all these things that are wrong with your face. So I don't want you to start with filtering first. I want you to first start with toning. Then, if you want to add a little bit more like depth, because we all know my love and appreciation for contouring. And contouring is like something magical for people with mature skin, because it gives us a little bit of a lift. It kind of like hides some stuff that needs to be hid. And so contouring could do that. You can also use your bronzer or your contour for this. I'm going to use a little bit of my bronzer and see how it does. My skin is always so different because I put a little bit of self-tanner on. So I'm just going to kind of give myself, okay, see how it's already starting to come together. And I don't have hardly any makeup on. I just have a little bit of toning and a little bit of bronzer. Let's put some down here on this double chin. Okay, step one, done. Okay, I want you to add a little bit of blush at this point too. So I want you to add all your color in first, which seems crazy because you're like, no, I should be like doing all the other stuff first. No, I want you to add all your color in first. So your bronzer, your contour, and then let's do the lip and cheek. This one right here is called Maui. And I like to bring it up like in a C shape, okay? And you can diffuse it out, or you can use it a little bit more concentrated. Look how pretty that color is. Let's put some on my lips. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Let's go in and start working on some of the distractions. Now I have my toning done. I put a little bronzer on to kind of contour. I've added some blush, and now I'm going to go in and start filtering with my Demi color correctors. So there's two brushes that I recommend you have when you're using your Demi, and that's these two. They are on sale right now. This is the spot brush. This is the bright brush. You can see one is a little bit bigger than the other. This one's more pointed, kind of like an art brush. And then on the other end, in comparison to, like, let me pull an eyeshadow brush out. This is the eyeshadow brush. You can see it's a little denser. Then these ones are a little softer, a little wispier. So these Demi ones, they also make great eyeshadow brushes. I love this one for my eyeshadow too, especially when you have really small eyes. You want to kind of match what size you have here to the brush, okay? And that's exactly what you're going to be doing with Demi Color. So let's go in and start working on some of these distractions. I kind of like leave my under eye for last, and I like to go in. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to work some of this area. Now this has no makeup on it. I've just done kind of my toning on the outside, and I'm going to go in and do some work here. Now, when you are looking at these different areas, I want you to remember anything that is dark has blue in it. So you're going to need some kind of orange. It's why most of the shades that we have of the Demi color correctors have a lot of orange in them, because anything that's dark is blue and therefore needs orange to counteract it, okay? So, and then you'll see I have a pink here. This one has pink in it as well. And so I'm gonna go in, this right here is kind of purpley. So especially if you have, like I have little broken capillary veins here. So I like to go in with this color right here. I call it creamsicle. It's like a creamsicle color. It's called Y01. And I'm very lightly going to start to apply in that area. Did you guys see that? Now, when you very lightly touch on that and it doesn't go away, it means it's probably a different color. So try using a different color, but I don't want you to just kind of keep adding color on top of color on top of color. It's better to actually wipe it off and start over again than it is to just keep packing it on, if that makes sense. You want this to be really, really light. You don't want to be able to see makeup texture at all. Okay. Already looks better. Now, if you see this right here, we already know that that recedes in, right? This, because everything's kind of falling like this, okay? So what we're going to try and do is brighten up that area right there. That is going to make that look not quite as indented, okay? So when I look at that, I know that it's dark, so it definitely needs some orange. I'm actually gonna go into this shade right here, which is 03. Do you see that? I know, it's wizardry. It really is. But I think many times people get super frustrated with, I'm gonna go in with something with a little pink and hit right up here on that. They get really frustrated with Demi because they're used to just swiping something on. You're not just swiping something on, you're actually trying to just put color on color, okay? So I know it seems completely, it's almost like with Demi, you have to like erase everything that you thought you knew about makeup and just kind of work with the color wheel and these colors. Okay, so next I'm gonna work a couple of different areas. I've got a couple of small, like little acne things. They are definitely purpley blue. So anything purpley blue, raspberry, Y01. I'm using this small brush. And this kind of stains the skin. So instead of thinking like makeup that's going to cover it completely, you're just staining it. When I smile, this gets really blue. So I'm actually going to go in and take a little bit of just 03 and just kind of wash it. This is kind of toning. And if I'm not getting the desired effect, I'll probably go into this color right here, Y01. See that? It's wild, wild. Okay, let's start to work the under eye, but I need to take care of these areas right here. This is where my glasses sit. So if you wear glasses, and I have to put contacts in to do these videos because I can't see what you guys are saying when you're talking to me. I'm gonna go into 03. You'll see I use 03 quite a bit. I'm just gonna kind of start to take this away, okay? Now it didn't go all the way. That was just kind of like a toning over the top. Now I'm gonna go in and hit some of those darker areas. I'm actually gonna go into a color right here called OR1. Let's bring you in a little closer. See this big age spot right here? So it's going to be multiple colors, but I want to hit that darkest point first. So I'm actually going to go into 03 and tap on that darkest point. And I'm going to switch to my softer brush and go into a little bit of pink because age spots usually have some green in them. Anything that's muddy, dirty, freckly looking. See that? I'm gonna come over here and work this. Let's try 01 right there. Just kind of start to work on that. Okay. Now let's start to work the whole under eye itself. Okay. So let's work this one first. I find this, you'll have one eye that's a little bit easier than another eye. And this is why I have you get a few different shades of the Demi, because your under eye is likely going to change in color a little bit. And it's why you need more than just one color. If I was to just take 03 and swipe it all over, it's not going to make it look any better. Okay, it's really about targeting the darkest areas first and then working out in that area. So I'm going to take, usually right in here, it's kind of dark and shadowy, kind of purpley gray looking. And that's pretty common for in the eye right here. So let's just go in and try 03 first. And I'm just going to hit those darkest areas, okay? And you won't always use the same color on each eye. Okay. And then this right here, let's use 01, which is the shade right here. Oh, I got way too much product. See that? Way too much. So I flip the brush over and just kind of wiggle it back and forth in the area where I have applied it. If you take that color and swipe it everywhere outside of that area, it's going to kind of create what is called a halo effect, and it makes the area look worse. So just be really, really detailed on where you're applying. Okay, you see it start to like take effect. This down in here, and this is pretty common, especially if you wear glasses, sunglasses or whatever, you'll get age spots right in here. So with age spots, they're dark, so you need orange, but because they might look brown and muddy, they're going to need a little bit of pink. So let's go in with 01 first. And just kind of, I mean, I'm barely putting on any product, you guys. Barely at all. And I'm going to go into this one called OR1. And I'm going to hit those areas where the 01 didn't do anything, okay? Let's go into, all right, we're getting there. Let's work over here. Let's go into 01. And I'm kind of working right in that crease. And if you guys are wondering what I do with my brush, I have like a little washcloth down here that I just kind of wipe it off. You don't want to mix all the colors. You really want it to stay really like true to the color. I'm going to take the fluffy end of my brush and I'm going to lightly go into this pink. I could go into this pink as well. And if you guys look really close in my under eye right here, I have like little freckles, like little age spots. So I'm just kind of toning those. Demi's are cream. They're a different cream than like the 3D foundation, in that their color is super duper duper saturated, like really saturated in color. So it's why, like, see these ones that I've just hit pan on those, I've been using them for 2 years. And you can see they are barely, I mean, I've still got another 2 years left with them. So yes, it is a little expensive to get started to buy one of these sets, but I promise you, you will be shocked at how long they last. So I'm going to leave my under eye for now, and we're going to work a couple of different areas. Usually right out here on the outer corner, you're going to have some darkness, okay? And with darkness is blue, so it needs some orange. So I'm going to go into 01 and just touch on, just on that dark little spot. Okay. Now, let's work up in here because it's hard to see the brightness here when this is all dark up here. So right here, I use lash serum on my lashes, and many times it'll make them go a little bit like purpley red. And anything that's raspberry in color goes to Y01. That's the ice coming off my shed. Scary, scary. Okay. See how that already brightened up my eye? And I didn't do anything down here. I did it up here. It's crazy what happens with your eyes when you have darkness all over your face. So let's kind of work some of this darkness, see if we can get it to brighten up just a little bit. So this in here definitely is going to need some orange, right? But if you look close, it's almost got a little bit of green in it as well. So I'm going to dip into 03 and then dip a little bit into the pink. And I'm just going to kind of brighten that up. Just ever so lightly begin to brighten that lid up. Is that wild? I tell you, there's something spectacular about what happens with the areas on your face that you don't like when you start to balance things out with color. Okay, I haven't done anything more with my under eyes, but look, they still look really good just from tapping here. I don't have hardly anything on everywhere else, but just those key points of using these Demi correctors. You can use them with your cream 3D foundation like this, with these. But you have to remember, anytime you're layering the two, it's going to dilute these away, and they're not going to be quite as pigmented in the areas that you want them to be pigmented, if that makes sense. So see how I have some like age spots, freckling here. Let's kind of brighten those up a little bit. And that in turn is also going to like brighten up my under eyes. Is this making any sense to you guys? I hope so. Because I don't want Demi to be so hard that you don't use it. I want you to try it, but I don't want you to get frustrated when you swipe one color and it doesn't work. I'm going to take a little bit of this pink. Just kind of brighten in a couple areas. Somewhere where I love, okay, good. Somewhere where I love, so as we get older and our brows start to fall, right? Right here, you don't want to put any eyeshadow right in that hollow right there, okay? Because it's going to make that hollow look more. We're trying to like cheat the clock a little bit, okay? So right here, and then I have like little spots up here, and I'm gonna brighten those up a little bit. You're fine, Rosie. You're fine. I didn't even see it, honestly. You're so funny. Okay, let's go in with a little 01. I'm just kind of, I'm really showing you, I'm really targeting that area. Flipping the brush over and okay, see how that's like totally gonna brighten that up. Now with me teaching you this, it takes me longer. So don't think it's going to take you this long when you do it. When I do it on my own and I'm just going out and running a few errands and I don't want a full face of makeup, or maybe it's hot and I'm sweaty and all the things, then I'll just use some Demi color correctors on it. And I'm always shocked how great it works. See this right here? Okay. See how that, when I smile, because I have wrinkles, I have, like, it's what happens, right? But if we can take care of some of that hollowness, many times it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to take this pink and touch that. See that? It's almost like tracing out the wrinkles. And because you're hardly using any product, it's not going to like settle in the areas. If it does settle in the areas, it just means you use too much product. And like I said, these things, even though these tins are so small, they last forever. Okay, let's take, I felt like there was a little bit of green left over in that. Okay. Can you guys believe that? Like, I love because it's so natural. It doesn't look like makeup. It just looks like my skin looks really good because now I've taken care of all the purple veins, the darkness in here, the little acne that I have here. So, oh, I forgot. I was going to take care of this. I was going to take care of these right here. I'm going to do 01. So if you wanted to buy one of these little edits that comes with the 3, it's right around 100, what is that, 110, 115. But they do last. See how that just like brightens up that area right there? So if you have age spots, you guys saw me get rid of this one right here. I've been working really hard with my esthetician to kind of like take care of some of those dark age spots. I will tell you, the most important thing you can do for your age spots and the melasma is to put on some sunscreen. If you're not wearing your sunscreen, then you're just going to get more, and they're just going to come back, and they're just going to get worse. So you have to wear your sunscreen. Okay, you guys. Hopefully that made things a little bit simpler for you, so that I'm going to put a little bit of Renaissance on. I have a tickle in my throat. I feel like I want to deepen that blush just a little bit. Let's put some on my lip. Isn't Renaissance pretty? It's like this raisin color. So it's like a berry. What do you think? You guys, let me know if you want help choosing which Demi edit will be best for you. I'm happy to like give you some recommendations if you want. Yes, I will be at conference, Andrea. You guys, I won't be on next Thursday. I'm going to be at our work conference and learning all the things. I'm going to be learning more about Demi, so I'll be sure and come back and teach it to you as well. But if you are going to be at conference and you see me, please come say hi. Please come and like give me a hug. I love the connections that I build and with artists and with customers and with people outside the country, all the things. And I just love helping you guys. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Thursday and a great weekend. We'll see you in 2 weeks.